Today is Wednesday, April 29, and Joe Turner and his wife Jenny and myself, Judy Meyer, are talking to Jennie Ritter at her house on Taussig, and we are right amidst all her beautiful flowering plants. And Jenny, what is your full name?
Jennie Mary Elizabeth Catherine Ritter.
Jennie
Mary Catherine Ritter. I'm named after my mother Jenny, after the Blessed Mother Mary, and after my daddy's mama Catherine.
Wow. And Ritter is your married name?
Yes.
What was your maiden name? Pruitt.
Yes.
And how did you...
Pruitt's here.
Pruitt's in this area were the... Tell me where you grew up, Jen.
Right there, next door, about 300 feet away.
Right next door to where we are right now,
yes,
you grew up.
23 years. I stayed there until I married my husband, and then I moved here.
And you moved next door?
Next door, and I said, all of my life, I got up at 6 o'clock because Daddy had us out in the asparagus patch, the tomato patch, the pepper patch, picking apples. I said, I'll never marry a farmer.
Yes.
And I did.
Why did you marry the farmer?
Well, he was good looking.
Well, there you are. Yes, that's...
He taught me a lot about my faith. He was in the seminary for 3 years.
Oh, really?
He told his daddy, I want to come home and farm. His daddy said, give it a good try at the seminary. He stayed 3 years. He said, Dad, I still feel the same. His dad said, okay. Finished at Lambert High School, which at that time was all girls. He was the first class that had boys
really?
at Lambert High School.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
We both graduated the same year from high school.
From which high school?
Mine was Hazelwood West. His was Lambert High School. We were 16 when we met at the beginning of that final year of high school. We were on a hayride. My brothers took me along like they always did because I didn't, date or anything like that. So this fella next to me said, would you like a piece of gum? I said, sure, I like gum. And that started, and 7 years later we were married.
Wow.
He never gave up on anything.
Now, what is your husband's name?
Lawrence George Christopher Ritter.
Oh, so he has about the same number of names that you have.
Yes, that's right. One is for baptism, 2 are for baptism, 1 for confirmation, and then our family name.
So you called him what?
Larry.
Larry, okay.
And when he called me the first time, my daddy had just got a telephone.
Oh.
He didn't have a telephone. That was in 1953.
1950?
No, it was later than that. 57.
Okay,
I
and then
graduated in 57, so it was 56, really. And he called me, said, this is Larry. I said, Larry who? I didn't know that Larry was short for Lawrence.
Oh, okay.
So that's how it started.
Well, did Larry's family also live in this area?
Larson, right on Deer Hockey in St. Catherine, they had 18 acres. My daddy had 27. We were up there.
Okay, so let's just recap a little bit. You, Jennie
Pruitt.
Ritter. Were you born here in this area?
I was not born in that house, but my first 2 brothers were. My third brother, I have 4 brothers, 3 older, 1 younger. The third brother, myself, my younger brother Ed, were all born in the hospital down the city.
Really?
Yep. And I cried when Mom got me home, and I cried. And Mama had like what they call a nervous, at that time.
Baby blues?
Yeah, a nervous reaction. Anyway, she couldn't take care of me. Back to the hospital I went.
Really?
For about a week or 2.
Oh?
The nurses couldn't stand the crying. They put me out in the hall until I was done.
Oh, my goodness.
That's what Mama said. And I'm sure that's what happened. Then they brought me back home, and I didn't cry as much.
Okay.
After that.
But this is where you live, in this
Absolutely.
house right next to where we were.
Yep. From there to here, 300 yards. And I married a farmer.
And Jennie, what elementary school did you go to?
Bonfields elementary school. It was a 2-room schoolhouse on the other side of the train tracks, not half a mile from here, which I walked back and forth every day.
A 2-room schoolhouse.
Yep, about 30 in the whole school. In all 7 grades. Every year they would switch from 3rd grade to 4th grade. If you come out of 2nd grade, there's no 3rd grade, you go to 4th grade.
Oh my goodness.
Which I did.
Wow.
And my mama helped me get through.
Uh-huh.
And at the end of the year, they said, I don't see any reason to keep her back. Push her on into 5th. So I went to 5th grade. That's why Larry and I were the same grade in high school.
And your brothers went to Bonfil School also?
Yes. Yeah, there's 12 years between my older brother and me. 10 years between my second oldest brother and me. 9 years between my brother Leonard and me. 3.5 years after me was my brother Eddie.
How many of your brothers are still living now?
Only 2. Raymond died of cancer, and he was a carpenter that built the house that I live in.
Oh, okay.
And my brother Bill, who farmed the 50 acres in the river bottoms with my other brothers and their sons, and lived in the last house on the corner down the street. So this is what's left of my daddy's farm. 4 houses and a little lot.
Well,
But there's gardens in every one of them.
yes, yes. And of course, children. And how many? Well, let me just back up a little bit. You went to the Bonfils through.
Through 7th grade, then they closed the school. And we were given the option of going to another Hazelwood middle school, they called it. I went one day. The other option was the Catholic school, St. Mary's here in Bridgeton. I said, Mama, I want to go to that Catholic school. It was awful over there.
Well, so
Nobody cared about anybody.
So Bonfils was actually part of the Hazelwood district?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The Hazelwood district was created when Bonfils closed.
Oh,
They
that's
had
it.
just built the high school and the elementary, well, the middle school. So that's why we're being shifted out.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I'm so glad I went to St. Mary's. The sisters were wonderful.
Uh-huh.
They taught us so much. My brother Ed, who was 4 years behind me, went there also. And we both graduated from there. I graduated in 53 and went on to high school in Hazelwood.
Oh,
Went back to teach there 4 years after
Really?
I graduated from high school.
You were-
Lasted 1 semester. It lasted till Christmas. It was, the students were so different from when I grew, to be that old. They had so many problems. They'd come to me and say, my mom and dad are getting a divorce. What do I do? I was overwhelmed. I was only 21. I didn't know what to do or what to tell them, and it just ate at my heart. And finally I said, I can't do this. So I'm not teaching right now except homeschool.
oh, really?
I'm helping all of our children homeschool.
Oh,
And I'm helping the grandchildren while they're busy with the flowers. I'm the teacher.
I
So my
see.
education didn't go to waste.
No.
My
no.
daddy always said, do you need a college education to bunch turnips?
Oh,
Because that's what we grew, all the vegetable crops.
now did he sell the vegetables and where? Because I am not a farmer, so
I can tell.
so I don't quite understand everything about raising the plants. And so how did they go about selling their
Well,
crops?
first we grew plant the seed. Take the little seedlings out, plant them in the greenhouse that my daddy let us build in his backyard and didn't charge any rent. So that was handy. We were living here and growing the plants there. Then we'd take them down to the floodplain. We had bought 8 acres from Rich McNulty, who owned what is now Copart.
What is it called?
Copart, that's a junkyard.
Oh,
And so Rich said, you can have that 8 acres, I'll sell it to you. And it was just the size of a truck garden that we needed. $16,000 for 8 acres. And my daddy knew we were looking for a place to farm. And he said, I'll help you get a place. So I called Daddy from Rich's one. I said, we're going to buy Rich's place. It's 8 acres for $16,000. At that time, you didn't pay $2,000 an acre for floodplain ground. And he said, that place floods. I'm not going to loan you anything on that. I I said, Rich, he won't loan us money. I had saved half of what we needed.
Uh-huh.
And because I'd worked at Kroger for, all of my college years during the summer, and then I went full-time after I quit teaching. And that was another 4 years because we lost 2 babies before we had one that was keeper.
Oh.
And so Rich said, I'll take back a loan on the place. So he financed us. We paid him rent. After a year, my daddy says, I'll take over the loan. And you can pay me rent.
Yeah, pay
so
me
it was
rent.
okay with us.
Uh-huh.
After another year, when he saw that we had good sales, good crops, my husband was an excellent vegetable grower. My dad says, I'll forgive the loan. So
Wow.
my daddy gave me the other half.
Oh.
The other half of the farm.
I see.
He
I
had a big
see.
heart. He just wanted to be sure we could do it.
So did you sell the produce right from there, or did you
No,
have to take it somewhere?
It all went to warehouses where the grocery stores, Kroger, Schnucks, National, Wetterell. Everything we grew went there.
Oh.
And when we had leftovers, sisters in O'Fallon,
Oh.
because Larry's 2 sisters were in the convent there.
Oh.
They've since come out, but things change, you know.
Uh-huh. Well, let's backtrack a little bit. So what high school did you graduate from?
Hazelwood West.
Okay, you were Hazelwood West, and your husband graduated from?
Actually, it was Hazelwood East at the time. It was the only one. It was Hazelwood High School, period.
The only Hazelwood. I
Right.
see. And your husband went to high school at?
Lamberty High School in the city. It was a Catholic high school.
Is that still going on now?
It closed.
Yeah. Okay.
Just about a year ago.
Oh, I see. I see.
We've outlasted everything.
So where did you get married?
In church,
Which church?
my parish was St. Lawrence the Martyr in Bridgeton.
Uh-huh.
Father, the one that was over in Florissant.
Father Holland?
Father Holland was our pastor, but before him was Father Hornkamp, who married us.
Oh.
He died shortly after he married us. We were a bad influence on him.
So you did get married at St. Lawrence?
At St. Lawrence, yes. I remember walking down the aisle with my daddy. My daddy cried.
Oh.
And I was the only girl. The
Oh.
only chance he had to walk down the aisle.
Did you have bridesmaids like
I
the
had
traditional?
4.
Uh-huh.
My roommate in college, she was my maid of honor. I had Larry's sister, Margie, who was up in Montgomery City now, retired. They operate a Dairy Queen. And I had my brother Ray's oldest girl, who was then 11 years old. She was my
Flower girl
Flower-
or junior bridesmaid?
junior bridesmaid
Uh-huh.
because I was 11 years old when I was a junior bridesmaid in my brother Ray's wedding.
Oh, how nice. That sounds
And
nice.
Mary Ellen lives out in North Carolina now.
Okay.
So we don't get to see each other much.
I see. And so
And she helped us when we were farming. She would come in the summertime to earn money for school and work with us on the farm. But first she had to be in the house and take care of our first 2 babies.
now I was going to
Annie
ask
and
you
Rob.
about that.
Yeah.
Now,
She
so
was
tell me
here to
about your
babysit.
children.
When she was here babysitting, I came up one day because I was still nursing our little Bob. He was 6 months old. She's on her knees on the kitchen floor scrubbing it. She looks at me and says, "Can't we trade places? I'll go work on the farm. You take care of the kids." So we did.
Now tell me, so how many children do you have?
I have 13.
Wait a minute. You have 13 children?
Well, 6 are in heaven already. I miscarried 5 and one
Oh.
only lived an hour.
Oh my goodness.
The other
that must have
7 are
been-
here trying to keep up with me.
Well, that must have been very difficult to lose
It was, but-
babies.
The best part of it was that when that baby, who was born a year and a little bit more than a year after our first son, Bob, she couldn't breathe. The fluid got in her lungs. Dr. DeLeo tried to save her for a whole hour. She was baptized on the delivery table. The nurse, who was Indian, native Indian, knew she wasn't going to make it. She never cried. She baptized her. I didn't know that at the time. But I met that same nurse 15 years later in the same hospital, the old DePaul downtown.
Wow.
And she had blue jewelry just like Indians like.
Uh-huh.
And I knew she was Indian that delivered my baby. And I said, were you here 15 years ago? She said, oh yeah. I left right after that and went to California, and I just got back.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
She was taking care of my mom's sister who was there.
Wow.
How about that? That's
So you
not a
went on and
coincidence.
you went on to have 7 children.
Yes, from the time after, first was our Annie, then Bob, about 14 months later, then Mary Cecilia, who died, then our son Tim, who is helping Bob in their greenhouse business, which is just like ours up in Troy, Missouri. Tim retails, Bob grows it. Bob sells it, and Tim says, you didn't save enough for me. But they're enjoying it so much, and they have a beautiful place. They have started from scratch, just
Wow.
like we did. And they, you know, you put so much into it, you think you're gonna die, but you make it somehow, because God's up there saying, go, 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 you know. So that's how they're going up there. And then after Tim, I had 4 girls in a row. No more miscarriages, no more trouble. The last one was our Angelica, who is going to be 30 years old in May 25th. She was 11 pounds and 3 ounces.
Oh my goodness.
I was 45 years old.
Oh my goodness.
And the doctor, I had no tummy muscles anymore. I couldn't even walk around, I had to sit. So the doctor was trying to pull her with a suction, wasn't working. The nurse, all the time, my husband's in the delivery room with me.
Wow.
The nurse is standing there, you know, not knowing what to do. And I'm saying, Jesus, help me, Jesus, help me. And the nurse gets on top of me and pushes her out.
Wow.
She was
Wow.
fine, she's perfect.
Well,
She's still perfect.
well,
And
wonderful.
she gave us one grandbaby so far.
And she works here with you in the.
And Francis, Angelica and Francis are her youngest. And she and her, Francis's husband take care of it now that I'm just a loudmouth. I talk to all the customers and they say, you're supposed to be babysitting the kids in the house. Get in there.
Well, you have beautiful flowers and quite a beautiful variety of flowers.
Yes.
So who?
It's growing. The
Who,
variety's growing.
let me ask you these days, who makes the decisions to, you know, I should say, not arrange so much, but I notice like you do a lot of arrangements, hanging baskets and
Yeah.
pots, and who actually is behind that?
That is my daughter Christine and her husband Scott, who grow it all down in the floodplain that Daddy said we shouldn't buy.
Oh,
It floods every 7 years, or an average of every 7 years.
does it still flood down
It
there?
still floods down there.
And does that
we haven't
disturb-
had floods since 93, 94, 95, 3 in a row. So God says, you get a rest now.
Does that disturb the business?
Oh, it doesn't. We were watering hanging baskets in a boat during
Oh.
the flood.
Ah.
We had to boat in and water each one by hand. You lose a lot, but God makes up for it.
Now, who is this young lady standing next to you?
This is Sarah.
Hi,
She
Sarah.
is the boss of the family.
I
She
see.
knows everything that everybody should do, and she tells them about it too.
And
She's
how
like
old?
her mama, 100%.
And who is her mama?
Her mama is Frances, who is responsible for all the retail
I see.
with Angelica.
Sarah, how old are you? 6, 7. Do you like being out here with the flowers and the customers? Just part of your life, isn't it?
She's very good at it. Very, very. But she's better at taking care of little Michael, who's 6 months old now, her brother.
Wow.
She's going to be a first-class little mama. She already is. If Michael's crying, they all say, Sarah, he's crying, do something.
It's up to
And she
Sarah,
does,
huh?
And she does, that's right.
So, do all of your children live here in St. Louis?
All except Bob and Tim in Troy, and our oldest Annie in Virginia, because her husband was a patent examiner in D.C. And
Uh-huh.
they're going to move to Southern Virginia to get away from D.C.
Oh, so basically your family has pretty well stayed in the area then.
Absolutely. All the Pruitts have stayed in St. Louis area except for one that went to California. We know where everybody is.
Wow. Did you have something you were going to talk about in that purple folder?
I sure do.
Why
First, I want to do a little drama for you.
Okay.
Since I'm 75 and a lot of the residents of Bridgeton are, my age group, I thought I'd do a little striptease for them.
Oh my.
The first thing is off goes the sweater.
Okay, you want me to hold that for you?
No, I'm going to show you what's on it. This is my husband's sweater, which is too big for me, but in cold weather it's fine. The three loves of our life. The first one is Catholic radio and EWT on television and family apostolate. We believe in family big time. My husband, if anybody was having a hard time having a baby, he would say, I'll pray for you. And sure enough, he called and said, guess what? I'm going to have a baby. So he was a promoter of pregnancy.
Oh my.
But only if they're married. So this is
Okay.
my first one of those. This is the second part. I'm not going to take my shirt off.
Okay.
But can you read what's on it?
Families are woven together with memories and bound by a mother's love.
And it's almost Mother's Day, so
That's
we wanted a lot
true.
of mothers to know why they were made.
Well, quite nice.
Now that's the end of the striptease. I've got an art show for you.
Wonderful.
This is from our grandchildren, and I picked out the, I guess you say, the most sentimental ones that I can't part with.
Okay.
This is made by our little granddaughter, Anna. She's
Anna.
11 years old now. She was younger when she made this.
Uh-huh.
But she's got both Grandpa and I in it. Grandpa's in heaven, and she
Oh.
said heaven, the kingdom of heaven in this picture. And then in the next picture is me with my cane. I'm trying to wean myself from the cane, but I still have it.
Uh-huh.
And she says, Earth. This is Earth. That's where I am now. And on this side, she drew in heaven the Holy Spirit and Grandpa. In heaven.
Nice. Very
So
nice.
that's hers.
Is she here today?
No, she lives over in Hazelwood, and she's one of 6. The newest baby is 2 months old now.
Uh-huh.
She's the mama,
Oh,
second mama to that baby. This one is made by Sarah.
Oh.
Sarah. And Sarah put on love, 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 love. That's what she's giving. This was a birthday present.
that's very nice.
And she put on me with my cane. I always have a cane. And a birthday cake, a tree with a little nest in it for the birdie,
Sure.
and herself.
Good.
And she drew hearts on all of us.
I see that. Yeah, I see.
And this one was made by, I think that was made, who is that? Lena. That's Anna's sister over in Hazelwood. She's a very good artist. She did a house. She did a flower. She's given me a flower, she did hearts on all of us.
And I like the butterfly.
And a butterfly.
Yeah.
Isn't that colorful?
Very nice, yes.
This one is no name, but it's a Pokemon, whatever that is. And it's got to be done by one of the grandsons.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sure my grandson
Did you
would
see
know
it?
what that is as well.
And this one, this is from Virginia. This is the second youngest of 10
Wow.
in Virginia, Elizabeth.
Oh.
She makes her first Holy Communion this Sunday, as well as Sarah, and also Lena. That's the little ones in Hazelwood. So I have 3 grandchildren making their first Holy Communion this Saturday. This is
Sunday.
Sunday. Thank you, dear. And this is also from Virginia. This one is a little primitive, but it makes it even more sentimental.
Looks like she might have used a stamp, a heart stamp.
She did. She put 4 birthday cakes on it with candles because she couldn't fit all of my candles on one cake.
Oh, okay.
75 candles. That's it. That's the end of the art show.
Well, nice, nice. So I can see how important family is to you.
It's the life of the world. Without family, the little world won't go on.
Some people aren't quite as blessed to have quite so many.
Well, we're not always as thankful as we should be about those we have.
That's so true.
But since Larry died, I'm much more thankful. They have all filled this big hole in my heart.
How old was he when he passed away?
74.
Oh, my.
We would be married, we were married 52 years, April the 20th.
Oh.
So
Where's he buried, may I ask?
at St. Mary's Cemetery over in Hazelwood. That's where all the Pruitts are. So
Oh,
now there's
really?
a Ritter there.
That cemetery, I noticed, it's kind of hidden away, isn't it?
It's very hidden, just like our farms. You know, you hardly notice the farms around here because they're hidden.
Yeah.
This is Daddy's, you know, what's left of it.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to keep it. We want to keep it. It's all we had with Mom and Dad.
Mm-hmm.
So we're having a fight, a real fight.
Really? With in what area do you mean?
They're raising the assessment terrifically from $14,000 to $57,000 in 1 year. And it's such a battle to keep farming and still keep the property.
Now, you know what about the St. Louis Outlet Mall is just basically down the street from you, isn't it?
Yes, it was sold out not too long ago to another company. Some of the businesses are leaving. We don't have the population here. The airport bought 1,500 homes, 1,500 families who no longer live here that would shop at the mall.
Yes.
They did. So the mall is not in a good place.
Right. But what I want to ask you is, when they were first building that mall, did that affect you at all in any way? When they were first building the wall, did it cause?
Not really. The construction usually came off the highway. The highway went in before the mall. I think that's what attracted the mall, was thinking that people passing by would stop. Enough of them didn't stop. They're going home from work.
And so we also have, besides your family businesses, on Taussig, is that how you pronounce it?
That's right. It's French. My daddy was French and German. Larry's daddy was Swiss and German. My mama was all Bohemian.
Oh.
So
I
they
met a
call
lady.
us mongrels.
What?
They call us mongrels.
I met a lady when I was working at Schnucks, whose husband worked down here. I think he worked for the railroad, and they pronounced it Taussig, different than what we do. And because I've lived here over 40 years, it was very hard for me to think of it like
That's
that.
French. Our name, my maiden name is Pruet,
Oh,
French, but everyone here calls it Pruitt.
right,
So
because of that T on the end of
that's
it.
right. When you're teaching phonics, you say all the letters and the sounds
Right.
of all the letters. In
Yeah.
other countries, it's not the same.
Yes. Sarah, what is your last name?
Cecil.
Now, is that starts with an S or a C?
C.
See, it could be either way. It could be spelled with an S. Yeah. And then anyway, on this road we are sitting on right now, facing, we also have a business, the auto auction.
That's Copart, which is also a junkyard.
Oh,
They try to sell it all, but they don't. There's so many. It takes all of Richmond Loki's farm that we can buy. 8 acres is everything is Loki's farm. All the rest of that is the junkyard.
and
We
then
don't mind living here because it's quiet, you know? Well,
Sometimes.
Not so quiet. Yeah, not that way, but I mean, it's quiet as far as lots and lots of traffic.
Uh-huh.
Not like being on a, we hear that traffic, but not bad.
But it's probably not that bad in the evening, is it?
No, it isn't.
Just mainly during business hours today.
Yeah, we're too busy out here taking care of plants to even worry that there's traffic. It's
What
a
do
good
you do? Let me
combination.
ask you. I know plants, before they're actually planted in the ground or in a bigger container. So what happens to your plants that, what we say, get leggy or get scraggly or just not sellable? What happens to those plants?
Food pantry.
Food, but these are plants.
There are a lot of people that have a garden if they could afford the plants.
Is that
So they
right?
give them the plants so they can have one.
And the plants you give them, are they edible plants, vegetable plants?
Vegetable and flowers.
Really?
They should have beauty as well as food.
That is wonderful. See, I had no idea. I had absolutely no idea about that, and I hope this enlightens a lot of people. And here comes one of your grandsons now, and
He's the one that carries the plants to the customers' cars because sometimes they're elderly and they need help getting the plants to their cars, so he does that.
then what is his name?
That's Luke, and this is David. David does the same thing, but he's more artistic at it.
So
They're
are
a little
all
shy.
3 of these children from the same family, brothers
Yes,
and sisters?
Yes, all
What
five.
is Luke, right? What are you carrying for us? What are those beautiful white flowers?
Cosmos?
Cosmos. I like those. Those are very pretty flower. Do they come in other colors, Luke?
Lots of colors. There's so many colors that we have 1,000 varieties and colors of all of our plants. 1,000. You can get anything you want, even apple trees we have.
Really? I didn't
Yes.
know you had trees here.
And roses, and all the perennials,
Well,
all a lot of shrubs.
Well, that's
I'm using my
wonderful.
husband's handkerchief. He left me 20 of them.
Yeah, I understand. Luke, what is your busiest day here for selling, do you think? Well, I mean, as far as days of the week, Monday through Sunday, what do you think the busiest day might be?
Mother's Day, without a doubt. Well, people are, we don't have much parking space. They park on the lawn.
They
So,
park on the lawn just
Yeah.
to get here?
uh-huh.
Wow.
And we have such loyal customers. Larry built the little greenhouse in the backyard for me in '73. I said, do I need a greenhouse? He said, well, maybe you could grow a few flowers. We only grow vegetables
Oh, I
at that
see.
time. I said, when? I already have 5 kids. He said, well, let's just try it. So we tried it, and we had a flood that year in '73. All the little plants that we grew down there had to come up here. So it's a good thing
Yes.
we had the little greenhouse.
Yeah.
We put them out here on the lawn, tomatoes and melon crates, because there was no place to go with it. It hailed. After we moved them up here on the flood,
Oh,
it hailed
no.
on them. It broke a lot of them. We saw the
Oh.
ones that were still good. Next year, people came back and said, you got any more of those tomato plants? That was a red flag to my husband. We got to grow more tomato plants.
Yeah.
Whenever he grew something that sold, he says, we got to grow more.
Uh-huh.
I thought, I don't know if I can keep up. But we did grow more. We grew more kids, more plants,
I grew more kids and more plants.
and more greenhouses.
Well, I certainly love the plants, and I have been a customer here.
We thank you for that
Well-
because it's all word of mouth.
Yes, but of course, once you come here and you see the variety and the healthy plants,
And the healthy kids.
and yes, and so it's very encouraging to come back, and
That's what keeps us going.
I hope your business thrives as well as your family. Thank you so much for letting Joe and Jenny and myself come over and talk to you today.
Our customers are part of our family. They're our friends.
Thank you so much.
God bless you, and thank you for the opportunity, which I put off for 3 years. But Larry's, he's in a better place now, and I can do a little better.
I see. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joan.